A dog wearing a protective shield while walking on the main street in Manila in the midst of lockdown brings a candid and light moment amid the dreadful mood brought by COVID during that time. Working as a news photographer in the Philippines in 2020 really brought a change in my work attitude. Unlike before, where I would just go to assignments, now, prior to my vaccination, I assess first whether it's too risky or it's safe for me and my household. The story behind this is during the first week, I think, of the lockdown in Manila, where the Philippine government implemented restrictions in traveling of travel and any movement outside the country, especially in Manila, where the only people allowed are the essentials, which is are the police, medical frontliners, essential government workers, and media people. So me and my driver were roaming around the city looking for human interest that would capture the a light moment during these uncertain times, because during that time everyone is uh, afraid and uncertain what COVID is, what COVID might bring to a person, and the implementation of face mask and face shields is new to everyone. So while driving around the city of Manila, we came across to this lady walking her dog wearing a face shield. So it's very uncommon. It's a very uncommon scene to see a dog wearing like that, because we usually see face shields and other face masks to people's to people who are going outside, because it's a protocol, it's part of the protocol. So it's a very light moment to capture during those uncertain times. Hi everyone, I am Jansen Romero, a freelance photojournalist based here in Manila, Philippines. Um, I am covering events like police stories. I do coverage of Malacanang, which is the place of the president, Philippine Senate for the Philippine senators, and I do some photo documentary as well. I've been working as a photojournalist for several years now, both in print and in digital. So I'm humbled to be included here in Scopio's book, where some of my photos during the pandemic are chosen, and I'm glad to share the stories behind it. I'm humbled to be sharing the stories behind every photos during this interview. That's it. So I'm about to answer some questions like, why did I decide to become a photographer? I originally graduated as a literature major in University of Santo Tomas here in Manila. That's a writing and reading course. Well, it's kind of near for journalism, also near in journalism, but I really want to be, I think I want to be in the scene, in the story, I want to be in the situation. Uh, well, the good thing I think of being a literature graduate is I've honed the discipline that is needed in journalism, which is research, reading, and knowing each side of the story, not just taking photos, but knowing what's your what you're doing basically. So every photo I've shared is, well, aside from luck, uh, we do research first before going there. We acquire contacts to for our safety as well, especially in COVID. We Unlike before, we just dive into the situation, but now don't go if we're very unsure of it, because we don't want our loved ones to get the virus as well. As a photographer, as a photojournalist working in the newspaper, uh, I remember my boss said to me that my photos should be understood by readers who doesn't have high education, even like the street dwellers. When they see the photo, they should understand it and they should be informed. So I think uh, that's where I'm coming from. I want my photo not only to be shared both here local and international, but to make I want to make my photos I want my photos to become an eye opener somehow to even just one reader, that this is what's happening during the pandemic. This is the Philippines during pandemic. This is the life of media people here in the Philippines during the pandemic. Well, again, I'm very thankful for Scopio for choosing some of my photos, believing in my photos, believing in my work as well, and giving me a chance to share it to everyone, not only in the Philippines but worldwide. Well, having your photos printed is different. Well, having it published online is good too, but having it seen printed in a very nice paper and sharing it to everyone, the physical copy is very different because it gives longer retention to the readers. Unlike the digital, which we some of the readers daily they consume it daily, it just becomes their like visual no it becomes visual noise. It in their mind, it becomes categorized as visual noise. uh, eh, Printed photos, personally I considered printed photos like uh paintings paintings in museums like that, because you have output. You can see a hard copy, you can see a physical copy of your photo. And I remember my former boss saying that when you will see the strength of the photo when it's printed, it's physically on the table. Because I remember in newspapers, before doing the final layout of the newspaper, my photo editor will, at the end of the day, before doing the final layout, my photo editor will print all the photos of his photographers, and he will choose the best photos of that day. And it's a good editing process to see side by side the photos of every photographers, which is the strongest photo during that day, which is well, not weakest, but you will see the difference, the impact of every photograph during that day. So I think the book which will be published is very important for me personally, and it will be very important as well in the community photography community, journalism community, because it it's the time where the world well the title of the book, the time where the when the world stopped. it's it's very new. Since hundreds of years, everyone was not was instructed to not go out because it's dangerous. And me as a journalist, I'm humbled to be given this opportunity to share the situation of my fellow countrymen during this height of the pandemic. Again, I am thankful for everyone for giving me this opportunity. I hope this is not the last opportunity you'd give me, and I'm here to tell and share more stories about our country, whether it's pandemic, post-pandemic. This book, this opportunity also an encouragement for me, because I know in myself that, well, the situation here, even though it's dreadful, ripples make waves to international community as well. That's it. I'm Jansen Romero from Manila, Philippines. I'm thankful to everyone, and have a good day.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that last episode and learned something new. Don't forget to tune in to the next episode to see what other crazy, incredible, creative, and empowering lessons you can learn from the photos in this book.